For the past 2 weeks, there's been something that's been scratching at the surface of my being. I have been thinking, and I've been trying to link how I feel to how comfortable I am financially. And I came to a deduction, I came to a conclusion. I love deducing things. So I came to the conclusion that I genuinely believe being poor destroys your sense of self. It destroys your confidence as a person. Now, that is the deduction I came, to. However, there are better ways to phrase that. So I went to Google and I, Googled basically poverty, and self-esteem. And there are a few researches done. The first research that I came across was done in America. People were comparing African Americans, who live or who come from low socioeconomic background to their white counterparts, right? The white counterparts is those who make almost the same, who live the same, or those who make more. And they were mentioning how a lot of people do suffer with self-image, the way they portray themselves, the way they see themselves, that for me really made all the difference, because in my mind I was very sure about this thing. I was like, I cannot emphasize, because for me, genuinely, it was quite ridiculous, right? When the thought was coming into my mind, when, over and over again, I kept analyzing it when I had the time over the last 2 weeks. I was like, it's ridiculous that I was, not the suggestion, but I was like, it's ridiculous, but it also makes sense, right? Now, I also noticed 4 years ago, specifically, it has to be 4 years ago, because I am a communist, right? I don't talk about communism as much as I used to when I started TikTok. But I am a communist. I believe capitalism specifically. I'm very much anti-capitalist. I believe capitalism is the most inhumane, insensible of ideologies ever presented to the humankind. I think the acceptance of human suffering is anti-human. It's not normal. We are social beings. It's in our nature to be human, right? That's where humanity even comes from. To be human, you need to have humanity. If you don't have humanity, you cease to be human. When you propose and put into action an ideology in which people cannot succeed, people cannot be comfortable, their basic needs cannot be met, you are not operating from a place of humanity. You're not operating from a place of being a human being, right? It's not normal to suggest something like that at all. Now, the whole thing which I noticed like 4 years ago was I kept looking at people. I kept looking at videos online. I kept looking at the engagement of videos and how open people were to others. And I looked at the background of people. I looked at whether it's the vocabulary, whether it's the appeal, right? Whether it's the where they were environmentally, where they were, right? The type of clothes they wore and things like that. And I noticed that there really seemed to be a lot of correlation with these things. A lot of people genuinely did not like people, specifically people of low socioeconomic backgrounds, making any type of comment or statement and things like that. It has become, very normal, uncomfortable online specifically to be very, very classist to people. Now, I'm not really shocked at that because it's not the only thing. Yeah, we're human beings and we go with identities, and our identities, depending on what kind of identity it is, people can tell sometimes. I'm not going with me saying, they were mean and stuff like that, which they could be. But it just intrigued me for so long. But I cannot believe, right? In essence, it makes sense that people obviously feel bad, because nobody's going to feel good if their basic needs are not, not being met. Nobody's going to feel bad. Nobody's is going to, not feel bad if they cannot get half the things that they want. Everybody's obviously going to feel bad about that. But I was hoping for some reason, because honestly, it seemed crazy to me, insidious even, that the thought even came to my mind, because I was like, confidence, self-esteem, and poverty? Because Obviously, you're very comfortable. If you're very comfortable, you don't really need something. You don't really need something. You don't need to perform. You don't need to do none of that thing. None of that, right? And I also, it's one of the reasons why I swore off, coming on the internet and performing a sense of having my stuff together and stuff like that. Genuinely, I do treat the internet, and specifically, I treat my account like it's my bedroom. This is my bedroom on the internet. I have no regard for people feeling like, oh, you need to, you know what I mean? Because people will come on the internet and be so repulsed and act, by the way, it's all an act. They will act all repulsed or shocked and try to like instill some sort of shame into you. But if you're very ashamed of somebody, I would like to see, right? If you're so ashamed and oh, I can't even pay attention to it. I wonder, can I use whatever you're ashamed of to rob you? Can I meet you on the street, carry half of where I live, or the state of that I left my bed in this morning, or the fact that I refuse to get on the internet and perform some sort of like femininity for you? Can I use that to rob you? Is the same thing I feel about when I carry like sanitary products, right, without wrapping them and stuff like that. Because I do wonder if you're that repulsed, I wonder if I can take out my tampon or my pads and rob you with it. No, I cannot. This silly acts people put on just really excites me, and it really reminds me that no matter how useless life might be, it's interesting the lens humans go to make meaning out of things. We truly are a meaning-making being.